been through it before.
Call the honourable member for Mayo.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I was delighted to recently host 2 positive ageing forums in Mount Barker and Victor Harbor in my electorate. Mayo is the oldest electorate by median age in South Australia. The needs of older people living in our community, including the aged care system, has been a significant priority in my work in the Parliament these last 5 years. I believe that positive ageing is far broader than aged care. For me, this is one of the most pressing matters facing us as our proportion of older people grows. We have a wealth of amazing elders who built a thriving community and represent one of our greatest assets. Their skills, experience, energy, goodwill, and knowledge are resources from which my community and the Positive Ageing Forums we were aiming to tap into and foster that knowledge. With such events, there are so many people to thank. Our venues, Cornerstone College in Mount Barker and Investigator College in Victor Harbor, were so helpful and kindly allowed the use of their sport and arts centres during the school holidays. And while special guest Aisha Buttrose AC was sadly unable to attend, impacted by the travel restrictions in New South Wales, we were very fortunate to have been able to attract some brilliant local speakers. And I'd like to thank each of our speakers in turn for their generosity in sharing their knowledge and experience. Mr Ian Henschke, he's the Chief Advocate for National Seniors. He generously gave his time to present at both forums. Mr Graham Goodings, he's an Australian radio and television journalist. He's a much-loved South Australian. He shared his personal story with us overcoming bowel cancer. Ms Carolyn Barkler, Chief Executive of Aged Care Rights Advocacy Service in South Australia, she guided participants through advanced care directives and what elder abuse looks like. Lynn Fields spoke on from Dementia Australia, spoke about dementia and living with dementia in the community. Ian Yates, the Chief Executive of Council of the Ageing, spoke to the South Coast audience on the Royal Commission into Aged Care Quality and Safety, and it was great to hear from Ian Yates on behalf of COTA. And on the South Coast, Maggie Beer, iconic South Australian and author, enthralled us with her insights on the need for nutrition, flavour and ultimately pleasure in food for people of all ages, whether you're cooking for one or living in residential care. And I'd like to thank the wonderful local speakers. Joanne Lauritsen, as Deputy CEO of Grandparents for Grandchildren South Australia, talked about what they're doing to support grandparents who are in that role of parent. Jeff Edwards from the University of the Third Age, U3A, Adelaide Hills, and how their organisation is keeping positive ageing at its heart. Belinda Sheldrick shared with us about how we can demystify self-managed aged care. Valerie Lillington enthusiastically spoke, and she actually sang about the Victor Challenge. This is Valerie's idea to recognise our older people with the Duke of Edinburgh scheme. Deirdre Henderson shared her experience of caring for a family member with dementia with support from Dementia Australia. And Dr Jenny Slape, author and PhD, spoke about creating a culture of respect that connects and cares for people to personalised dementia care. And I'd like to especially thank our generous sponsors who provided participants with nourishing goodies and goodie bags. We had the best goodie bags, I think, any show, any Raw show, any organisations ever seen before. Juleek, they provided us a beautiful lavender mist for every single person who attended and encouraged people to visit their farm gate and have farm tour. The yogurt shop, Beerenberg Family Farms, beautiful jams, a lovely treat for everyone. Mountain Fresh fruit juices, every bag had a fruit juice in it and they're made in Mount Compass. Bunnings Mount Barker provided reusable shopping bags, and Chiravalo Orchards provided us all with delicious local apples. Again, another fantastic Mayo business. Each of the forums had an associated expo. I can't list them all, but thank you to all of the organisations who provided us, who had a stall, who listened to people, who did such a terrific job. I'd also like to thank the volunteers in my electorate who helped get this happening, who did the registrations, and our local mayors, Dr Maura Jenkins for her acknowledgement to country, and our Mount Barker Mayor, Anne Ferguson, who also did an acknowledgement to country, as well as providing Anzac biscuits. Thank you to everyone who was involved. I look forward to doing more of our positive ageing expos.